I think they should watch the news because the children need to be aware of what's happening in the world.
I think children should watch the news because they need to know if anything's happening.
They really like the topic of the Ukraine war with Russia. They liked the discussion of why it's happening. We did quite a deep dive into it one afternoon that we had to just sort of see what's going on, you know, on a similar to basic level, but they liked the knowledge that gained from that, and because obviously it is the most prominent thing in the news at the moment, so they were already talking about it but didn't really know anything about it. They just knew a war was going on and they were a bit scared that could come here, whereas this sort of given them that understanding that not going to come here. They're not going to see, you know, tanks rolling down the street, but they are going to have a bit of but they now know what's happening and you know, rightly or wrongly, what's going on over there.
I like to learn about the Olympics in both school lessons because I like sport.
If I was Prime Minister, I would demand that people, like shelters, would give food away for free for people who need it, and let people like have homes because they need it.
If I were Prime Minister, I would make people build a McDonald's out of the side of a homeless shelter so homeless people can get McDonald's. If I was Prime Minister, I would demand people to give pupils to everyone.
It's good because the kids do really get engaged with the discussion. It is a really good thing to be useful because it tells them about what's going on, but in a very child-friendly way, and where it's a safe place to discuss it, where they're not just seeing one point of view, like we obviously know on the news, can be swayed to one area or the other, and it sort of gives them the facts and they can form their own opinions and everything. I think that's what's good about it, to be honest.
I don't think it's a bad thing that people disagree with me because they have a different opinion to you and they might not agree.
I don't mind if someone disagrees with my opinion because it's they think that they have their own opinion and that I have my own opinion.
I think in VotesforSchools lessons, when I'm an adult, it will help me because the information when I'm little I might not understand, but when I'm older I'll understand more stuff.
I think VotesforSchools will help me when I'm an adult because when you want a job, some of the stuff that you see on VotesforSchools can help you.
If I was a Prime Minister, I would make people have McDonald's at their house and make the houses less to pay so that they can afford McDonald's at their house.
I've seen quite a bit of change in schools since they've been implemented, and especially in my classroom and in the wider school. I've seen a lot more discussion from children on going about sort of these topics. I understood, especially with children that have had special needs that are in my classroom, the children around them, since we've spoke about that topic and about labels and such, there's been a lot more understanding of these children that maybe do have additional needs, and they've been brave enough to share what needs that they have with the class, and the children have gone from there and really supported them and now understand, maybe even more so, that they may need a little bit of extra help, but not to treat them differently as well. The areas of the curriculum that VotesforSchools helps us meet, the obvious ones are our PSHE lessons and our Thrive sessions that we do across our curriculum at this school. So in PSHE, it gives them that, it's all about that wider understanding of the world and themselves, and a lot of the topics that we talk about gives them a wider understanding of the world, and then themselves in turn. So when we've spoke about food waste and disabilities and things, they form their own opinions, and it's made them realise and reflect on their own practices, their own things. So do they waste all their food, or have they maybe not been as kind, especially when we did one on anti-bullying week. It all forms well. The Thrive sessions, again, we learn resilience, we learn and we sort of focus on a child's mental health, and it aids them in that because it gives them some understanding. It allows them to talk about things that may have been in the news that has been worrying them, and it sort of alleviates a lot of those worries for them whilst keeping in a realistic tone. But it also helps us widely on sort of your reading, because obviously they read from slides, and their history and geography knowledge, because if we're talking about Ukraine and Russia, we go to the map, we see where that is in the world, and we have an understanding of how that affects England because we're in Europe, and where the other world sort of leaders and partners that have been talking about it actually come from. And so the discussion is, well, why are they getting involved if they're so far away? And then again, it's all that debate that it brings as well is wonderful. If I was Prime Minister, I would make every Friday be ice cream day in school. So every Friday, teachers and students get a nice big bowl of ice cream at the end of the day.